was once had a dream of seeing whether we can replicate an artificial brain, if we can call it that way. Interest is your best teacher, and the curiosity that leads me into science. So these different ones, although they look quite similar, but where they would send information to other brain region will be different.
Hey guys, it's me, Eyoung, and today I'm here with Dr. Cai from the University of Michigan. Thank you so much for your time today. Hey guys, today I'm here with Dr. Cai from U Michigan. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thank you, Eyoung.
So, could you tell us a little bit about your research?
My lab's research really focuses on neuroscience. We use Drosophila, the fruit fly, and also mouse as a model system, and we try to understand what neurons do in their brains and how neurons connect to each other.
What we're looking at here is Dr. Cai's main lab. As we can see from the clips, there are many professional tools on the lab bench used for fly brain mounting, dissecting, visualizing, and analyzing. This is the actual fly dissection room, where the researchers would come in and dissect the flies to retrieve their brains. Every biologist has their own freezer, and this one is Dr. Cai's freezer. And it is negative 80 degrees Celsius, and if I open it, I'll burn my face off, so let's not do that. But here it stores so many important things like antibodies, and if the temperature rises to a certain height, then all the ingredients inside will be useless. So their lab actually created a device that will alert them when the temperature rises. So how does your research agenda evolve? What was the most exciting project you've done?
Yeah, it's when I was younger, I always fascinated about how animal brains or human brain computes, and then I was once had a dream of seeing whether we can replicate an artificial brain, if we can call it that way. And over time, I started to be interested or buy into the idea that whether we can kind of like tease the brain apart by mapping what the brain cells look like and how do they connect to each other, similar to a electric circuit, right? You have all the parts and then the wiring diagram. So the ultimate question would be, are we able to read the brain if we provide such a blueprint or a diagram similar to the electric circuits?
Okay, let's jump back to how you got into this field. So what drove you to become a scientist?
Interest. What drove me into science, I have been always interested about nature, fascinated about lives and the science in general around me. Along my career, again, I kind of switched interest, jumping from various fields, and from very beginning electric engineering, coding, soldering electric wires, building tiny circuits, and then computer a little bit, and then physics, I like that, chemistry also. I'm always have an open mind and being very curious and interested about any kind of scientific question that present to me. Yeah.
So would you say your biggest advice to aspiring biologists, would it be just interest and curiosity?
Yeah, I think that drives you to wanted to know the answer. I think that is the motivation that drives me to go into the lab, operating on a microscope, preparing samples. That is the driving force. Yeah.
That's really good advice. Right now we are in Dr. Cai's microscope room. So what are we looking at here?
Here what we're looking at is some mouse brain sample imaged under this so-called spin and disconfocal microscope. So here, what you're seeing on the live view on the screen is fluorescent protein gets expressed in the neuron processes. Here are the cell body soma, and these are the dendrites that they send out to receive information. The lab also builds something relatively from scratch using parts, and the one that we have over the other campus, not in this room, has the ability to generate hundreds of terabytes to up to a petabyte
Hundreds of terabytes
a day, every single day, which can fill up roughly 4,000 to 10,000 cell phones storage memory a day using one microscope to image.
So do you have any professional regrets in this field?
Professional regrets. You know, if you ask me to redo my career, of course, I can always find that certain things that I wished I would, do it this way and not the other way. But for instance, sometimes I feel, I shouldn't focus on this project. I should, pay more attention to another project. And that's like a double-edged sword that I have. On one hand, I have relatively broad interest in a lot of things. I think that broadened my vision and helped me to be more interdisciplinary. On the other hand, it's also relatively easy to get distracted, which means that maybe sometimes because the curiosity of a certain direction and then the spontaneous interest of more things than what our lab's core focus right at this particular stage, that may distract it a little bit. So then that may lead to some of the projects develop pace-wise that may not be as fast as we want.
Okay. What do you say would be the future of biology? Right now, I've heard that dry lab work is really important, AI, everything. Would you say dry lab work is more important than wet lab work?
I would say it's important for all the wet lab person to know the principle of coding, to understand some of the AI, understand the quantitative techniques. But I wouldn't say it's all dry lab versus wet lab. It should go together. After all of the dry lab stuff are tools that would help you to get to the answer quicker with higher throughput, better resolution, maybe more automated so that you can free your mind to think about the question itself.
Would you say that computational skills are necessary for a biologist to succeed?
More and more so. Yeah, more and more so. I would say definitely yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now let's jump to your outreach program. So you have this outreach program called Neurons Can Fly.
Yes.
And what drove you to create this program?
I have always been wanting to help. I feel it's quite rewarding when you really see that the students, they learn from the classroom and also communicate with me even after they left the program and wanted to continue to do more research, especially for some of the kids I know from their eyes and from our communication, they know for sure that they wanted to pick science, especially neuroscience, as their, at least for the next step career into the college.
So, like you said, biology is a super popular major in college now. Do you think that this popularity will die down in the future?
So a lot of fields, I think that people get scared nowadays, especially when AI start to thrive. A lot of law, for instance, a lot of kind of the automated driving, you can see that, robotics. A lot of the jobs that we think that would be replaced by AI probably in the next 20, 30 years. But I do think that biology, on the other hand, would benefit so much from AI and automation computation. So that's what I meant. I feel biology as a field, as a whole, is really start to shine as this, as the science of the 21st century. Yeah,
Okay, that's
way.
really interesting. Yeah. Good to know.
Right?
Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much.
Yo, wait. We were there for 6 months. Hey, I think no worry. Yeah, that's what.
So like that, say, is like the mouse protein. I gotta stabilize it. You gotta someone to help. Yeah. Is it done?
Yeah, it's super.
Oh, I see. You took a video. Okay, you can take a so that you can take a snapshot between from the video. Okay. All right. Okay.
Thank you so much for your time today, Dr. Cai.
Oh, you're welcome, Iya. Yeah, you're always welcome. High school students like you are very curious about science, and welcome to visit our lab.
That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye, guys.